Good morning. We at Tikane Vidya Mandir takes immense pleasure in association with Indic Academy Coimbatore to welcome you all for this wonderful event, the book release Draupadi, The Tale of an Empress by Sai Swarupa Iyer. May I request everyone to rise for the prayer and the dignitaries to light the lamp to give the auspicious start. Now may I invite Mr. Pramod Kumar, convener of Coimbatore Indic Academy, to deliver a welcome speech and to introduce our author and the chief guest.
Namaste, Vanakkam, and a very good morning to all of you. As the convener of the Coimbatore chapter of Indica and on behalf of the Tikane Vidya Mandir, I stand before you to welcome you to the launch of the book Draupadi by Mrs. Sai Swarupa Iyer. At the outset, let me say that I find it very heartening, very heartwarming to see an audience of students, largely young students, assembled here for this book launch. For two reasons. One, the Bhagavatam says that wherever there is a large assembly of human beings, there the presence of Krishna is always there. Wherever there is an utsavam, if the gathering, it's like a festival to see all of you gathered here for this book launch, and therefore the presence of Krishna is with us as we launch this book about Draupadi. Second, because I am a teacher myself, and every day I meet students in the age group of 16 to 20. As a teacher, as a parent, I am concerned about the declining reading habits amongst the younger generation today. Right? We find that technology is invading the space at one point which books had very positively occupied in the minds of the younger generation today. So this is when I find that students of your age have come here on a Saturday morning, this being a long weekend, Monday being a holiday. If you have come here to spare your time for this book launch, it shows your commitment to develop a reading habit and this institution's commitment to inculcate good reading habits in the students. Hats off to that commitment, and once again, on this positive note, let me welcome all of you to this book launch. First and foremost, the author who has come all the way to be with us today, to spend time with us today, Mrs. Sai Swarupa Iyer. I have the privilege of introducing her to all of you. She is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur and an investment professional turned satisfied writer. Sai Swarupa is the best-selling author of 4 novels, all based on legendary female protagonists from ancient Hindu literature. Her second novel, Avishi, based on a Rigvedic hymn, has been acquired for screen adaptation by a major studio. Her latest novel, Draupadi, The Tale of an Empress, has been critically acclaimed and is nominated for the prestigious DSC Prize for South Asian Literature 2019 and to Value of World's Book Awards 2019. Sai Swarupa is passionate about ancient Indian history, philosophy and literature. She holds a certificate in Puranas from Oxford School of Hindu Studies. She is also a trained classical singer. Sai Swarupa has learned classical music and her favorite area is the compositions of Annamacharya. She has also been awarded a gold medal by Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams, TTD in short, for the same. In her spare time, she likes to search for her next inspiration in books, pravachanas and historical temples. She is a member of the Indic Academy and lives in Bangalore with her husband and daughter. Welcome, ma'am. I call upon Mr. Tyagarajan of Odissi, Coimbatore, to please present a bouquet and a memento to the author, Mrs. Sai Swarupa. Thank you. Respondent, sir, Shri Tushar Kekani ji. He does not perhaps need a special introduction to the students and staff of this school, but then for the benefit of the members of Indica who are here, I have the privilege of introducing him formally. Let me mention that he has been so willing and forthcoming, not only in organizing this event, that I am looking forward to a long-term collaboration with the Kekani schools for conducting such events in future also. And it is because of his unstinted, wholehearted support that he has been giving us right from the day we approached him. Without thinking for a moment, he is coming forth and saying that this is something that should be encouraged. Thank you very much, sir, for supporting us and for being with us today. He did his schooling from the Kekani Higher Secondary School. He has a diploma in textile technology from the PSD Institute of Technology. He has a Bachelor of Science in Textile Management and Marketing from the US. He has an MBA in Finance from Philadelphia University, USA. He is involved in the business of processing and marketing of cotton textiles. He is an active member of the Rotary fraternity. He is a recipient of Rotary Service Award to the community. He is an active member of the Textile Association. He is the correspondent of Kekani institutions. He is a trustee at the Chinmaya Mission and Trust. His motto in life is service above self and to spread awareness of social responsibility. He is involved in various educational and social projects. He is an active donor in manufacturing and distributing artificial limbs to the disabled. He is a regular speaker at many educational forums. His passions include reading exhaustively autobiographies of eminent personalities of all walks of life. He watches video shows on the latest trends in science, technology and education, and he loves to watch at least one comedy show every day. His role models are Ratan Tata, chairman of the Tata Group, and Rajiv Bajaj, chairman of the Bajaj Group, Richard Branson, chairman of the Virgin Group. He is married to Mrs. Parul Kekani and is blessed with 2 children, Neil Kekani and Rai Kekani. Thank you once again, sir. Welcome, sir. I call upon Sri Karunakeshwar Das ji, who is here with us today. He is a representative of the Hare Krishna Mission. You might have heard about the Akshay Patra Foundation in Bangalore. He represents Akshay Patra as well as the Hare Krishna Mission in Coimbatore. I request you, Swamiji, to please bless Tushar Kekani, sir, with a long life, with prosperity, and many more years of good service to society. Thank you, Swamiji. I also have the pleasure of welcoming Mrs. Geeta Raj, Principal of the Kekani Vidya Mandir, to today's event. Again, let me mention, before we do the formalities, that in my brief interactions with her over the last 1.5 months or so, this is one thing that I've noticed is a disciplined approach to everything. From the day one when I told her about the event, in fact, I have not had to do anything much here in the school. It is she and her team which has taken care of every detail. This event is happening on such a beautiful and grand scale today. It is thanks to the support and involvement of Mrs. Geeta Raj and the faculty, the teachers of this school. Thank you very much, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am, to this event. I call upon Mr. Jagannathan, who is a very active member of Indica Coimbatore, to please welcome ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. Members of the press and the media fraternity who are here to be part of this event and to cover this event, thank you very much for your support. Last but not the least, the most important part of this event is the audience, my dear students, my dear teachers who are here. I hope that you will gain knowledge. As I said, knowledge, acquiring knowledge is one of the key foundations of Indian civilization itself. Abdul Kalam, the former president, late Abdul Kalam ji, used to say that India is a knowledge civilization in an advanced state of decay. That was his expression. He would say that we rose as a civilization because of our commitment to knowledge, and we have decayed because the commitment to knowledge has declined over the years. And events like this give me immense hope that the commitment to knowledge is reviving again, is alive very much in the younger generation like all of you. So I hope that all of us will go back with some illumination, with some inspiration from the authors and speakers who are with us here today. Thank you very much. Once again, I welcome you all. Namaste.
Sir, it was a very new experience for us for the introduction of our correspondent. Actually, he will be one among us. Thank you, sir, for that. Now over to Shabla ma'am for the inaugural of reading chapter at school.
Good morning to one and all present here. I request our author of Draupadi, Shri Sai Swarupa Iyer, to inaugurate the reading chapter, and I request our correspondent Shri Tushar Arkikani to join her. Just to be pulled, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Today we have inaugurated our reading chapter with the blessings of Almighty in the august presence of the dignitary on the dais. Our goal is, today a reader, tomorrow a leader, making true the words of Margaret Fuller. What is reading? Reading is defined as a cognitive process that involves decoding symbols to arrive at a meaning. Reading of all good books is like conversation with the finest people of the past centuries, and books are uniquely a portable magic. Plan of action at the reading chapter: to develop a selection of pre-reading strategies to improve the likelihood of comprehension, to develop key reading sub-skills as skimming, scanning, identifying the main ideas of text, and guessing vocabulary from text. To apply targeted skills and strategies to interact in communicative post-reading tasks. To develop confidence, fluency, speed, and a positive attitude towards reading. To develop explicit lexical knowledge through intensive reading and implicit lexical knowledge through extensive reading. To invite eminent authors and readers to interact and share their ideas about reading. Taking students to a book fair. We, in our chapter, instigate the 4 R's of reading. Read to activate and reinforce other skills. Read to become a better reader. Read to develop critical thinking skills. Read for enjoyment. Why should you read every day? The answer is we have the following benefits in reading. There is mental stimulation, knowledge, stress reduction, vocabulary expansion, memory improvement, stronger analytical thinking skills, improved focus and concentration, better writing skills, tranquility, and free entertainment. The following are the activities or planned for the year. Word games, headline activity, running dictation, dumb charade, using the clues to complete comprehension, parallel reading, book review, round table, fish bowl, dear diary, and group discussion. And finally, bring transformation in our students and make them enjoy the benefits of reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamla ma'am. Know a person from the book he reads and the people around him, says an old quote. Recently, I read few lines on the book which amused me a lot. Is a borrowed book is like a guest at home, which we should take special care and extra care to maintain a book. So own a book which has lot of intimacy in you. And one more point which I read is, at any moment if you have a private library in you, you can have a conversation with Socrates and Shakespeare. And the mighty dead are gone, and it is said that literature is an immortal part of history. Such a wonderful lines, and it had a great impact on me. Now here we go with the release of Draupadi, the tale of an empress, which brings alive a character of epic proportion that one can resonate across space and time. Now may I request our chief guest for the release of Draupadi. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now.
Thank you, Pramod, for bringing this wonderful program to our school. Thanks to you and thanks to Indic Academy that today we see the joy of reading being displayed over here. Thank you, Mrs. Swarupa Iyer, Sai Swarupa Iyer, for being here with us. Such an important personality. I'm sure it's going to be a lovely book. I've heard about it, and I'm just waiting to devour this fully, maybe within a day or two. So thank you so much for here and giving us this book. And dear children, all the speakers over here have spoken the benefits of reading in your life. So nevertheless, to say that I need not add much more to it, but in my opinion, I think time and again we've been emphasizing in the school to pick up reading as an important habit in your life, because I feel reading makes you a complete human being. I think there are so many ills plaguing this world. There are so many wars, there are so many violences, there are so many unethical things happening in the world. and always all of us strive to be a civilized human being. That is what we all try to achieve, being a civilized human being in this very violent and very turbulent world. And one way to control our mind and put it in the right direction, to make it move forward in the right direction, is cultivating the habit of reading, whereby all the qualities required to be a civilized human being can be inculcated in us. And that's the only simplest way, is to read as many books as possible, be motivated as much as possible, to be inspired as much as possible. And when you start reading, you start having a very calm mind, you know. When you have a calm mind, you start thinking. Unfortunately, a lot of people in this world today don't think, and that's where all the trouble starts. Reading enormous amounts of books, I think, helps you calm your mind, because always you need to talk less and hear more. I think all of you have heard that an empty vessel makes the most noise, and a vessel which is always filled up makes the least noise. So when you are filled up with knowledge and wisdom, your mind becomes calm, you talk less, you listen more, you understand more, and as a person you mature more. That's the need of the society. So please take back this message today. All of you take a pledge, an important event with INDIC over here, we had this. All of you take a pledge today here. The book reading club, because the teachers also, at least spend time to read 2 books a month. Let's start with the bare minimum, 2 books a month, you know. Any kind of book that interests you, that you're very passionate about, any kind of book. Take a pledge in this book reading club which is being inaugurated today, that 2 books a month, I'll finish it, and the next month I'll discuss those books in the book reading club. I think just look at the results 4-5 months down the line, you will see that you are transforming yourself into a wonderful, wonderful human being. So with these few words, thank you again, Pramod, Sai Swarupaya, for being here with us. Thank you, the faculty, the lead teachers who took pains to inaugurate this club. I wish this reading club, my good wishes, may it prosper, may it blossom, and may all the students, I just don't want 100 students to be members of this club. I want the entire school fraternity to be the members of this club, this reading club. All students should be there. It's not just a few students. The entire school should be a member of this club. And we should take reading to newer heights in the school. Come back and discuss this in various forums over here. And mind you, if you start reading one day, you'll be able to speak like them here in the podium. You won't need any talk lessons factory or anything like that. That's the power of reading. So wish you all the best, and God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for your wishes and inspiring words. And we swear that we have already taken a step ahead with the reading chapter, and children will do it wholeheartedly, the reading. Thank you, sir. And now may we request our author, Mrs. Sai Swarupaya, to speak a few words.
Shri Ramajayam. Namaste to everyone gathered around here. Special thanks to Indica Coimbatore, the Kikani School, and the wonderful team that put together such a great event. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks everyone for gathering here on a Saturday. I hope you're not angry with him, making us come on a Saturday and hear the long talks. So I promise to keep it as short as possible. I also want to congratulate you all on the inauguration of this reading chapter. That's one great thing that can happen at your age, the age of students, where once you start falling in love with books, life is guaranteed to be wonderful. It will be filled with adventures, it will be filled with experiences that make you a better person at each choice point in your life. We've heard of wonderful quotes from everyone about the advantages of reading. I want to remember a poem from Andhra Mahabhagavatam. That's Bhagavatam written in Telugu by a poet called Potana in 14th, 15th century. Here, everyone is aware of the story of Prahlada? So what's the name of Prahlada's father? Anyone has idea of who was Hiranyakashipu? Yeah, please. He was the demon brother of Hiranyaksha, that's correct. Anyone else? Yes. Wow, that's great. What's your name? Sahil. Congratulations, Sahil. And what's your name? Harinarayan. Congratulations both of you, and congratulations to your parents as well for telling you these stories. So, Prahlada, he was born with the knowledge of Narayana. Because when he was in his mother's womb, she was under the protection of a rishi. Some say it's Narada, some say it's Madhuchandas. She was under protection of rishis who taught the name of Hari to the unborn Prahlada. So after he was born, in his childhood years, he was lost in thoughts of Hari. And that made Hiranyakashipu a bit worried. So as a first step, he thought, sending him to school where he can play with other children, talk to teachers, will make him more active, interactive, knowledgeable, and he'll stop being in that broody state of mind. So Hiranyakashipu says this poem, though he is a Rakshasa, there's something we all can learn from him. He was Jaya, right? He says, Chadavanivada Nyundagu, I'll translate it later. Chadivina Sadasat Viveka Chadurata Kalgun. Chaduvaga Valayunu Manujula Chadivinchada Naryulodda Chaduvumu Tandri. By study, everyone, without studying, you remain ignorant. With the process of studying or reading, you cultivate this ability to differentiate what is Sat and what is Asat. That's what he says by Chadivina Sadasat Viveka Chaturata Kalugun. As a father, he does not want his son to top his exams. That's a side effect. That's not the aim, but that's a side effect. It will follow you once you have your mind on the concepts as well as the philosophy behind. So that Sadasat Viveka Chaturata, or the ability to know what is right and what is wrong, is what is the true aim of seeking knowledge. Because you will come across very tricky situations in life where differentiating wrong from right is difficult. It's not the black and white as we always see. And the greatest lesson of the shades of grey in life and how we should cling on to dharma is given by this book called Mahabharata. And I don't think there's more versatile text than Mahabharata, because as a 5-6-year-old, you can start falling in love with child Krishna. So that's Bhagavatam and Harivamsham, which is an appendix of Mahabharata, or the adventures of Pandavas, how they overcome all the difficulties in life. Then as a teenager, you have at least I used to have a lot of love for Abhimanyu, and it used to be my fantasy, that somebody should invent a time machine and I should go back and protect Abhimanyu or something like that. Then as you grow, this epic grows with you. During my college years, I used to read the Kurukshetra part, especially because of Arjuna's focus and concentration and perseverance. That used to inspire me, especially the 14th day of war, where he takes a pledge to kill Jayadratha before sunset, and there is a whole army of Kauravas that seeks to stop him. And there are various challenges that he encounters, and compare his challenges with what we face as students. It's just, reading a couple of books throughout the night. It's far easier than, facing 11 Akshauhinis or whatever was left of Kaurava army, right? If he can do it, probably Krishna will bless me that I will, complete my syllabus overnight. That used to be inspiring, and now as I progressed through my professional life and writing, Mahabharata has a lot to offer at each step. Every time I read it, it comes out with new lessons, new inspiration, new characters, the same old characters, but they present new perspectives every time you read this wonderful Itihasa. So that's my most sincere advice to you. Pick up whatever copy of Mahabharata you can. There are wonderful editions of Amar Chitra Katha by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Rajagopalachari, Kamala Subramanian. Stick, and if possible, stick to editions in your mother tongue. It's a totally different experience to read something in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, or whatever is your mother tongue. That's something which will stay with us. Whatever shlok padyams I read from Bhagavatam during my childhood, I remember still now, and they help me during a lot of tough situations in my life. Start reading every day. I want to quote an incident from the life of Draupadi herself. I hope you're all aware of Mahabharata, right? So what happens to Draupadi during, everybody's aware of the game of dice? Yeah, so can anybody summarize what happens during the game of dice? Anyone? Yeah, feel free. I mean, it's discussion. Yeah, Hari Narayan. Yeah. Yeah. That's almost right, Hari. They lose their riches, then the kingdom, the army, their weapons, themselves, and Draupadi. That's the key order to be remembered here. It's not a proud incident to be remembered in our Itihasa. It's an incident which makes us question what is right, what is wrong, what the hell were everybody in the Sabha doing, not stopping such a tragedy from happening. Those are the questions which will stay with us for life. We keep finding answers and our own relevance. Please sit. Yep. We keep finding our own relevant answers colored with our own experience, and it's a journey to proceed. But what strikes me here is when Draupadi is, dragged in as, a slave, Kauravas are calling her all possible names. I don't want to take those, names in this gathering. She had the, the ability to, keep her head in its place and question everyone in the Sabha about the validity of her being wagered. We all know that was wrong, but Draupadi, she gathered, the constraints that bound everyone. She actually says, she says it on the faces of the Kauravas that you Kauravas did not have the valor to defeat my husbands in the battle. You know that you are inferior to them in battle, which is why you have resorted to this. But even in, the game of, in your own language, my being wagered is not valid because Yudhishthira lost himself first. Then he has no rights to wager me. That way she annuls her own wagering. Then she gets Vikarna to question the game. Vidura is already opposing. There are rishis collected in the Sabha. Everybody who had kept quiet for a while start, the descent starts building, then finally she influences Dhritarashtra to annul the game itself. Then Dhritarashtra says, okay, horrible things have happened, please let me compensate it to you, ask me anything you want. And the first thing she asks is, release Dharmaraja, release Yudhishthira. Though she might have been, angry with her husband, but she knows that as the wife of Pandavas, she has reached the status of the Samragni of India. She respects her husband for that. And this is the kind of Shastraic education, the rooted education that Draupadi had got, that made her think straight in the worst possible situation that a woman can face, right? Whatever assaults happen today also happen, in the midnight or something away from public light. But that was something which happened in the royal court, that cannot happen today. We can't imagine that happening today, fortunately. But it happened and it stays as a very bitter memory of our history. And in that situation, Draupadi kept her head calm, questioned the king, questioned the validity of the game, made them even scared of, what can happen as a consequence of this game, and made Dhritarashtra ask her, okay, please tell me, I want to do something, ask of a boon or something, I want to compensate. She says, release Yudhishthira, then okay, done, but no, that's not enough, ask for something else. Then she says, release my other husbands, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, along with their weapons. She didn't ask for the riches, she didn't ask for kingdom. She wanted her husbands to prove themselves at what they are good at, which is why she stopped there. Then Dhritarashtra says, no, ask for something else. This is all minimum, I would have given it anyways, but, ask for something for yourself. Then she says, no, my husbands are free, their weapons are free. They claim whatever they want, whatever. It's their job now. It's like I don't want to ask of anything else. That is the confidence of a woman with the knowledge and intellect that Draupadi has. That's what knowledge and pursuit of Shastras, pursuit of inquiry, what they call as study of ancient books, makes you strong enough to tackle one of the worst situations that can happen to a human. And fortunately, we face far less intriguing situations in our lives, and we can derive those immortal lessons from the Mahabharata. We can overcome any difficulty in life with right lessons derived from this immortal saga of knowledge. I wish you all the best. I wish you all benefit from that Jnana Pravaha of ancient India, the timeless knowledge. Wishing you all the best. Please keep reading and keep going from strength to strength. Shri Ramajayam.
Strength of Draupadi, and you have enlightened our students to face the audience in their life. Sure, we see to that how far we can read the book and how they are going to face the challenges in their life. Now it's time for interaction, children. You can interact with the author.
Yes, please feel free. Forget the presence of your teachers or anyone. It's yes. Please tell your name. And
I'm Ayush.
Ayush. Hi Ayush.
It's a really big honor for me to meet you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I feel wonderful to meet you all too.
So, as an author, if I write in the book, Draupadi is a very powerful character.
Yes, she is.
So, how do you think you can portray such a beautiful and powerful character in the book? How do you face any difficulties portraying such a character?
Ayush, do you want to become a journalist in future? Because you start asking, your question is like that of a journalist itself. No, but thank thank you for that. A great challenge to, condense the life of Draupadi into a 300-page book. But the advantage that I had is the centuries, millennia of work done by Rishi after Rishi, poet after poet on the subject of Mahabharata. They have literally, milked the essence and, given us in a platter. So I have a habit of listening to the pravachananas of scholars as well. That's, because I have a close to 2-year-old child at home, so I don't have the same time to spare for reading as I used to have before I became a mother. So these lectures are my source of, research. And one of the prominent thing I heard about Mahabharata is that to achieve anything in life, we need 3 forces. The ichha or the ambition to achieve, right? And the knowledge of how to achieve that, that's the jnana. And the execution or kriya. So ichha shakti, jnana shakti, kriya shakti. And even while chanting the Lalita Sahasranama, we worship her as ichha shakti, jnana shakti, kriya shakti, swarupini. So we need those 3 forces, and those 3 forces of Mahabharata are Draupadi being the Ichha Shakti. She is the one who defines the aim to be achieved. Krishna is the Jnana Shakti. He is the source of knowledge. Whenever there is a doubt of what is dharma, what is adharma, should I do this, should I not do this, no, this doesn't feel right, how should I do, what should I do? Krishna is the one with answers. And once, the goal is set, you know what to do, the Pandavas, they know how to get the things done. They have that resilience in them, they have that strength to actually undertake the journey and achieve them. And this has been my principal philosophy that guided my writing of Draupadi. I always saw her as an Ichha Shakti. I saw her as an intellectual powerhouse, not as somebody seeking revenge all the time, not as some weak woman who's been insulted, not as a victim. I did not see her as a victim. I did not see her as some vengeful woman. I saw her as an intellectual goddess, as somebody who represents Ichha Shakti. That's what guided me. I hope I didn't go too deep into the philosophy, but thank you, Ayush.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Siddharth. And my question is, why did you choose Draupadi? Why not any other character?
Everyone is set to become a journalist here. Thank you, Siddharth. The reason for choosing Draupadi, partly the credit goes to my publisher, but more or less my reason for writing on Draupadi was there has been recent trend in the last 20-30 years of re-exploring itihasas from a modern perspective, and that happened all through the centuries. It's not something which is happening now. Andhra Mahabharatamu was written in the 11th century, part of it was written in the 11th century, the second part of it was written in the 13th century, or 13th or 14th century, and the concluding part of it was written 50 years later. The 3 parts of Andhra Mahabharatamu, they reflect the contemporary political conditions of those times. So that way, every time the epic was re-explored, there were contemporary issues which were, the poets sought out the knowledge of Vedavyasa to actually resolve the contemporary issues. That itself is the proof of timeless nature of Mahabharata. But what happened in the recent times, I will not take the names of books or authors, because I don't know what went through their minds, but there is even the popular media representation of the character, there were a lot of distortions. They made Draupadi look, like a very angry woman who's just out to get the blood of her enemies at the given opportunity, or they showed her as some victim of patriarchy, all the words that don't have any relevance with the epic. So such kind of distortions I observed were creating a sense of unhappiness among the readers, right? And the jnana of Mahabharata, please take your seat. The jnana of Mahabharata is meant to give you solutions, not to increase the problems in your head. And if a story just does that, it's not fulfilling the responsibility given by our Rishi Parampara. You have to give out solutions for problems that exist. It can be a bad solution, it can be a wrong solution, but the least you can do is not add to the problems that already face us right now. So I found it as opportunity given by the gods to re-explore the strength of Draupadi rather than portray her as an angry woman or a wrong woman or a victim or something like that. To see Draupadi as the real empress. If Lord Krishna chose her as the queen, he chose the Pandavas as the rulers of Bharatvarsha. There has to be a good reason for it, and that reason is what needs to be explored, because that merit or that yogyata, is what we call, is something which we should all strive to have as true citizens of Bharata, right? As responsible citizens of Bharata, we have inherited a lot of greatness from our ancestors, and it's also our duty to add to that greatness so that our children also remember us with some similar reverence as they remember the ancient ancestors. We have the duty, whether we succeed or not, we have the duty. We need to have the intent, which is why I wanted to bring out the strength of Draupadi as Vedavyasa, the Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyasa saw in Draupadi, which is why I took up the responsibility. I don't know whether I made myself clear or not. Hope your question is answered. One. So please read, if you want to write something from our itihasas, if you mean a book like Draupadi, read the source literature, whatever you can find, and believe there is some magical touch of Vedavyasa. It just draws you in, trust me. You cannot, once you fall into the world of Mahabharata, you cannot get out for your own good. And trust in that power of Vedavyasa, the power of Lord Krishna. You will go from building your knowledge base. What helped me was having a sense of kinship with Draupadi, Pandavas, Krishna, and other people of Mahabharata. I used to feel they are my friends and relatives. I used to talk to them, have conversations with them. I used to share my problems with them. There are times where I used to give my solutions to their problems also, and you ignore that. So, yes, they are a part of, one, say, a virtual family that I have, in addition to, my own family. So that sense of, friendship I had with them is something which helped me visualize the story like, I was with her when she experienced her life. So that kind of closeness to the characters, right? That helps you. And coming to actually writing the book, there are no shortcuts to it. You have to just sit every day, set a goal. Okay, I have to write 1,000 words, 2,000 words, or whatever. So I used to, set these micro goals towards the end goal and just sit and write and trust trust Lord Krishna to help me. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Fine.
Yeah. What's your name?
Adarsha.
Sorry?
Adarsha.
Adarsha.
Ma'am, what inspired you to become an author?
What inspired me to become an author? So, my father and my mother, basically I'm the only child, and I did not have brothers and sisters to play with during my childhood. And my grandparents, my mother, my father, they used to tell me a lot of stories, starting from Bhagavatam, the stories of Krishna, the stories of Rama, the stories of Pandavas, bit by bit. And I started thinking of them, Pandavas, as like my brothers, the brothers I never had. And as I said, I developed that, sense of relationship with them. Then I started telling these stories to my younger cousins. So the brand of family storyteller, stuck to me. Then there was this force of academics. I had to force myself away from all the books I liked, concentrate on studies, because we have the responsibility of responsibilities to fulfill of what our parents expect from us. Get into a meaningful profession, getting into a good college, contribute something to the society. Now, I tried doing all that, but there was always this calling from within that I am not doing my best as a business analyst. I am not doing my best as investment professional. I used to enjoy my jobs, by the way. There's a lot of love, a lot of things to learn, a lot of important people, inspiring people to interact with. But I always used to feel a sense of vacuum in my heart, as if, this is not what I should be doing. And my passion used to be storytelling. Now all my cousins are grown up. They don't have the habit of listening to stories from their akka. And so I thought I'll turn a storyteller where my stories will be read by a lot of children, a lot of grown-ups. And I'll remain a storyteller, which is my, which has been my identity since childhood. And that's what made me turn into a writer.
Thank you, Chidu. I have two important announcements to make. One is about the bookstall, which has been set up outside by Mr. Tyagarajan and his team from Odyssey. They've taken a lot of pains to display not only the author Sai Swarupa's books, but other related books. Children's literature is available on display. I request each and every one of you, because today is an auspicious occasion, you are inaugurating your reading club. After the event is over, when you go out, please spend 5 minutes to browse through the books. And if you find something interesting, please do pick it up and buy it and read it. Because procuring a personal copy and reading these books is the best way to encourage authors like Sai Swarupa. If you want Indian society to come up with many more authors like her, we have to support them, we have to encourage them. So please do that. Members of Indica who are here today, members of the public who have come for the lecture, please do go through the stall. Odyssey is giving us a 15% discount on all books and a 10% discount on all the CDs, etc. This is exclusively for this event, so it will not be given later if you go to the bookstore. So please make use of, avail yourselves of this discount offer that is available. Second, I am happy to also announce that Indic Academy has been giving a grant to schools to set up an Indic bookshelf in their school libraries, where children's literature like the Amar Chitrakatha and books on Indian history, mythology, spirituality, and all related themes will be collected together and displayed in an exclusive shelf to encourage reading habits, Indic reading habits in particular, amongst the students. One such shelf has already come up in the Perk School in Coimbatore, and I hope that very soon we will be able to do this in the school library here also. So you need to read many of these books in the school library. Thank you so much.
Sir, now with the special request of Sir, Sir needs to talk to you, students. Please, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Pramod. We'll take up your offer of having a Indic shelf in our library, and it will be useful and beneficial for the students over there. Thank you. Dear students, I want to join him. He asked a question, why she selected Draupadi. To my understanding and to what I have read in Mahabharata, which I frequently do, the entire reason for the war, the Mahabharata war, was laid at the footsteps of Draupadi. I stand corrected, please. Why, I'll tell you why. The whole reason for the war and this thing was laid at the doorstep of Draupadi. It is said that once when Duryodhana was walking in the royal palace, there was a pool of water in front of him, and he slipped and fell down very badly. And Draupadi was watching the same high above on the opposite side, and she made a very nasty comment that a blind man's son will always remain blind. It was a very nasty comment that was made, and for which Duryodhana vowed revenge. So revenge after revenge after revenge, what started this epic war is my understanding. Since the author of Draupadi is here, I would like to correct if what we have read is right or wrong.
Because this whole incident of Draupadi insulting Duryodhana, calling him, something like blind man's son is always blind, is a later insertion. I hope someday you will be able to read the critical edition of Mahabharata, which has been put together by a team of 30 scholars over more than 30 years. By combing every edition, every recension of Mahabharata from each Gurukula they could procure and put together in the form of that critical edition by Bhandarkar in the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute, Pune. Right, that has been translated into English by Dr. Bibek Debroy. It's 10 volume collection. I hope someday you all will be able to read it. I'll say start today, but I know, it will take some time. But there we will see a lot of popular myths like this. These have become popular because of some films, some stories, some later 16th, 17th century retellings which wanted to have an opposite view of Vedavyasa. I don't know what makes them think we are smarter than Vedavyasa. But these kind of things, they actually, that's one myth that I have tried to challenge in my book. Draupadi is not that petty kind of woman who will laugh at someone who, falls down. She's not that kind of a woman. We keep seeing her. And there's another incident where Duryodhana does this Ghosha Yatra. After Pandavas are sent away to their Vanavasa, he wants to show off his wealth to them as if they have not tasted wealth. Because they are undergoing that, the very arduous Vanavasa, he wants to show off his wealth to them. So he camps on the opposite side of the river or lake where Pandavas are living. And he comes with a very ostentatious hundreds of manservants, maidservants, artists, singers, disturbing the peaceful atmosphere of the forest. Pandavas are living along with rishis. They are performing these small yajnas for the benefit of the ecosystem of the forest. But this guy comes, he'll try and add fuel to the fire of insults that Pandavas are suffering. But as there is something called karma, which always comes back. So in the process of his showing off, Duryodhana angers some Gandharvas who are also camped there, and they teach him a good lesson, and they imprison him. They defeat all the Kaurava warriors there. They imprison Duryodhana, and finally Bhanumati, wife of Duryodhana, has to seek the help of Pandavas. to get her husband released. And that was the time when Draupadi agrees with Yudhishthira, of course, well, he believes in that doing good part, and he agrees to save Duryodhana. And understandably, Bhima and Arjuna revolt. Why should we do? Okay, we have not attacked him. That is our restraint. He has gone and insulted the Gandharvas. They have taught him a fitting lesson. Why should we interfere now? Anyways, send us back when we wanted to, hit Duryodhana back for what he did to us. We respected you, but we don't want to go and, do more good than that is actually permissible. But Draupadi agrees with Yudhishthira, because she feels the pain of Bhanumati. And she has already felt that pain of insult in the Sabha, of seeing your husband helpless. And she does not want Bhanumati to suffer the same fate, which is why she also agrees with Yudhishthira and inspires Bhima and Arjuna to actually go and help Duryodhana in that state of mind. That is Draupadi, right? And after the war, Ashwatthama kills all the children of Draupadi. Pandavas go imprison Ashwatthama and bring him to her, and she actually pardons him there, right? So that is the large-heartedness of Draupadi. So this incident of laughing at Duryodhana does not add up to her character, which is why I think, it's made of fun, and there have been a lot of reasons behind the war of Mahabharata, starting right from Shantanu, Bhishma taking the pledge. Once you start reading the epic, you will understand, had this not happened, maybe the war would not have happened. Had this not happened, had this guy not done this way, the war would not have happened. So such a battle of epic proportions had many factors to it, not just Draupadi asking.
I just forgot to mention that ODC has also arranged a meet and greet the author event at the Brookfield Small Play at 3 o'clock. Here also, after the event, those of you who are purchasing copies can get your copies autographed by the author. I also would like to invite all the children of the reading club, reading chapter here for a group photo session with the author, so that those who are not part of the reading club will feel a little jealous of you.
Thank you, ma'am. The whole session was an enlightening session, and this is a time to thank, and I thank our author who patiently answered all our questions. And thank you, ma'am, for giving a glimpse on the character Draupadi. Thanks a lot for being with us. And sure. Yes, ma'am. That shows your humbleness. Thank you, ma'am. And KVM takes pride in hosting such a wonderful event. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank our Indic Academy for organizing this event. Thank you, Pramod, sir. I would like to thank our correspondent who is always with us, and his guidance and valuable presence. I would like to thank our principal ma'am who always inspires us to read always. I think this is the right platform ma'am we started with. Thank you ma'am. I thank all our colleagues, the office staff and the students for the participation and the support. Thank you very much. Now we request everyone to raise up for the national anthem.